There was a lot up here. How's everybody this morning? Good. Good to see you all. Wow. Some good-looking peoples. Good-looking peoples. How's the avocados coming? How about the house? Nice. All right. Good. Welcome to Adventureland. Yes, indeed. So I was thinking about the title came before I realized, well, there is an Adventureland at Disneyland, right? And I was thinking, now people are going to think I did that because of Disneyland, and it wasn't that at all. It was just about this idea that life is such an adventure. But being that I, got Google in front of me, I just did a little search real quick and did look at Adventureland because it's been so long since I've been there. I don't think I've seen the Indiana Jones adventure. That's right. I know. Because when I go in, I go straight to Tomorrowland because I like the future stuff. Huh?
Are they still at Disneyland, or they revamped the whole thing?
No, it's still there. Yeah, it's still there. At least according to the map, it's still there. Yeah, and it's but Adventureland, it's like this bold expedition. It's exciting. It's filled with intrigue, as they say. They take you to exotic lands unknown, and to be where it's just like a slice of life, where you get to explore what's there to experience in life. It is very much in keeping with what I'm talking about, because life is the ultimate Adventureland. But Adventureland, what I loved about the description is at Adventureland, the flowers sing and the birds talk, and I'm all about that. I love how in mystical stories, that the animals always talk and the trees always talk. So that just worked really great for me. But this thing about that really is about Adventureland for me is that there's something about us that's always asking these questions, that wants to know, what am I? What am I all about? And where am I going? And what is this thing called life? And what is this life all about? What is this mystery? What is this intrigue? What's this romance I have with life itself? And how do I experience that? And there's something that's calling for an answer all the time. I think of myself as a seeker, and many of you are here each week. I imagine that you might consider yourselves seekers as well, looking to see what's going on. And Dr. Holmes talks about this in a really lovely pamphlet book called Good for You. It's a workbook full of all kinds of exercises that you can do. And in it he says that the mind gives us no rest. It's always, which if you got a mind like mine, there's hardly any rest. Even sleep, the dreams, whoa, Technicolor, DH, Dolby sounds, everything. Intuition draws us forward, and instinct urges us on. There's something instinctual about this drive to move forward in life. And I like that urge. Long time ago, I was looking at the word urge. This was back when I was trying to come up with acronyms for everything. And urge just showed up for me as the ultimate, resplendent good emerging. There's good that's always trying to emerge. It's always trying to come forward. And this urge is the thing that is constantly pushing at us. In fact, Holmes talks about this. He says this persistent urge is a divine influence. It's an irresistible force, and it constitutes the greatest impulse in human experience. The greatest impulse. It's within us. Can you knock down the monitor just a tad for me? I feel myself whispering to myself. And it that's pretty intense, I got enough voices in my head already. I don't need my own coming back at me one more time, right? But I really like this idea, the way he phrases it here. It's persistent, it's irresistible, and it's the greatest impulse in the human experience. It's something that drives us forward, that gets us up out of bed every day, that makes us want to look at the sunrise, to wonder at the stars, to go out to adventure. I love Dee's reading and what she talked about, and I was actually going in that direction a little bit because I was thinking about adventure and exploring and traveling, and this quote that Dr. Holmes had that was really fun, where he says, when everybody believed that the world was flat, the world was still round. The belief did not flatten the world, but it flattened the experience of people. And that's so powerful. How often do our beliefs flatten our experience of life? In fact, the motto for Spain for many, many years as it was conquering the world during that time when they thought they had it all covered, King Charles changed the royal motto. It used to be on the rocks of Gibraltar. It was painted on the rocks of Gibraltar as they were leaving, going out into the Atlantic. Ne plus ultra. Nothing lies beyond here. Then Columbus went and came back, and they had to change it. They took the n off, so it's just plus ultra. There's plenty beyond here. And that's really key to our understanding of experiencing this thing, this adventure land of life, that there is plenty out there. There's plenty new things to be discovered, plenty new things to find, plenty new things to do. This discovery that thought is creative is one of the dynamic discoveries of all time. That your thoughts are things, that every idea that you have, everything that you have starts as an idea in mind. So all of our ideas become the manifestations of our life. That's really the great discovery. I was treated by one of my dear friends to a test drive in a Model 3 Tesla recently. Talk about great discoveries. This guy, Elon Musk, what a crazy guy. He's got a car where you pull up next to another car, and then a little P comes up on the display, and you hit start, and you take your hands off the steering wheel, and it just like backs right into the parking space. I was like, really? Come on, let's do that again. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. You know, I was like a 2-year-old. So we pull up next to another car, and boom, parks into space. Driving down the freeway. This is, you put on autopilot or whatever it is, say 4 seconds apart. Rush hour traffic means nothing anymore because that car keeps you exactly 4 seconds apart from the other cars. It slows down on its own. It speeds up on its own. It's following the little white lines on the road by itself, which is really crazy when you're right-hand lane because the white line goes off with the exit ramp, so the car kind of goes off with the exit ramp, but then it comes back. But then the next exit goes whoop-boom. So you only want to use the autopilot when you're in the middle lanes. Otherwise, it's really crazy. Or it'll do like it did to me. It says, sorry, you would not get to use autopilot anymore today because if you touch the steering wheel too much, it cuts off. And if you do it a couple times, it says, sorry, you don't qualify for autopilot. You can't use it anymore. But I was thinking about this thought that's creative, and I looked into Elon Musk, and what a crazy guy. I mean, SpaceX, okay, we understand that, and then Tesla and all that it does, but then he's got this thing called Neuralink, where he's trying to link artificial intelligence into the mind so that we can be more expansive in what we do in life. And I didn't know that he co-founded PayPal. Did you know that? Yeah, that's how he made some of his big money. He sold PayPal to somebody else, and that's how he kicked off to make the money for Tesla. But then that got me thinking about Elon Musk. I said, well, who else is out there doing crazy stuff? And then, well, Jeff Bezos, my goodness, what do you do with $112 billion? Well, I could. What is that? Donate to the Centers for Spiritual Living. Simi Valley. That's not a bad idea. And what is it about these rich guys? Elon Musk has SpaceX, and not to be outdone, Jeff Bezos started something called Blue Origin, so he's also sending stuff out into space and carrying it into space. But these guys represent for me this infinite possibilities, these ideas that we can keep going and doing new and incredible things with our thoughts. You know? Thought is creative. Dr. Holmes says, this puzzled him, this thing about thought being creative. He says, we cannot explain why thought is creative, but we can and must accept the fact that it is, and then see what we can do with it. These guys clearly have seen what they can do with it. What can you do with it? What thoughts are you having that you haven't jumped off into? You know, I got one that's been sitting with me, and as I'm doing this talk and thinking about this right now, okay, I'm going to pledge to make this thing a reality. I used to write affirmations all the time. And I would write these affirmations every morning. I would write them on a Post-it note, and I would stick it to the bottom of my iMac computer, that little gray strip across the bottom. Any of you Mac people, you know what I'm talking about, right? And it's enough. These Post-its were just enough that I could stick 7 of them across. So every week, I start with the beginning of the week, fill it up. Then I take them off, and I put them in this book. And so now I've got 4 years of these books, of all these Post-its. And I'm thinking, what am I going to do with these affirmations? Then it came to me, I got an idea, a thought as a thing. Make a book out of them. Right. And the book is going to be called Affirmations That Stick. Right? And the affirmations now, so every day you open up your book, there's an affirmation on a Post-it note, you take the affirmation, you pull it off, and you stick it somewhere. But then there's got to be another place of blank affirmations for you to write your own affirmation. All right, I'm pledging right now, I'm going to make affirmations that stick a book. All right. That's my idea that we become a thing. John, you know how to publish books, right? You can help me with that. Oh, Hulu. What? Lulu.com. Or I could just give it to Patrick. That'll work too. But then it'll become his favorite book. And he'll quote from it. Absolutely. Yeah. But what do you have? What little nagging idea do you have that you haven't jumped off into? What adventure is not going? How have you flattened your life by not jumping into the great adventure that is waiting for you? Where is your adventure land? And you don't have to go to Anaheim. You can just go to your own thoughts, to your own mind, and discover it right there. These new frontiers are waiting for us. It's our nature to explore. It's our nature to search out new things. Dr. Holmes said it. I believe him. We're curious. We're basically curious. You know? And the mind is so curious. And unfortunately, sometimes the mind gets curious about what might happen that could freak me out. Fear. Oh my goodness. Fear. That's probably the next great adventure, to learn to overcome our fears, to move beyond what we're afraid of. And I think some of it begins with just sharing it with a trusted fellow, that this is something I'm afraid of. Give me some support. Help me. Because we're all here in this thing called relationship, all in this thing called life. And sometimes it's just like blind happening, just doing it anyway. Thinking about this. There was this fire in a town, in a downtown business district, and this warehouse was on fire. And it looked like it was threatening the entire business district. And this warehouse was burning so hot and so brightly and so fierce that the firefighters were not sure quite how to fight this fire. They were all kind of stepping back a little bit, assessing the situation, when all of a sudden, here comes this one fire truck just screaming by, sliding down the hill, screeching to the brakes, comes to a stop right at the curb just in front of the fire. The firefighters jump out. They start fighting the fire. And when the other firefighters up on the hill saw these guys fighting the fire, fighting their fear, they jumped in and they fought the fire too, and they saved the downtown area. And the fire captain of that first truck was taken by the mayor to a big assembly, and they gave him the key to the city, and they said, what can we give you as a gift? And the fire captain said, brakes for our truck would be nice. Sometimes life itself will propel you beyond your fear. Be ready for that. Be ready for that moment. Maybe you just screech into your future without even understanding how you get there, but that will lead you there too, moving through that place of creativity, getting through the scatteredness of life itself. Dr. Holmes talks about that. He says, when we are confused and trying to go in 40 different directions at once, sound like anybody around here? We should turn definitely